good morning, good afternoon. I'm actually going to try to post this video as fast as possible. It's like 6:45 Eastern time. I have a match with Lamby in a couple hours, so we'll see what that is. If you're tuning in and you're finding this out after the match, update, I lost. It's just most likely what's going to happen. I'm probably going to use Baron Mordo in my deck, and I'm going to stream it so that people don't think I'm stream sniping. And I would like to be able to beat him with Baron Mordo, because Baron Mordo is the most powerful card in the game. Also, I have a new chair. It's being covered by a hoodie right now, but it has 2 armrests, and that's kind of fun. My last one, because of obesity, I broke the other armrest, and it wasn't comfortable. But now I got a new one. This was on sale. It's actually really nice. It was like a $200-something chair on sale for like $115. I love it. It's great. Not a lazy boy. Lazy boys are great. But whatever, right? Whenever I do this, my nose itches. All right, so it's been a while since I made a video, and there's a type of video that I've always wanted to make for a while. It's reacting to posts, kind of. I'm part of a Facebook group, Marvel Snap, where people definitely ask a lot of questions, and lately it's been getting kind of like, the bigger it gets, the more negative comments there are, and the quicker people are to try to like be edgy or cool or just be mean. I don't like doing that. So we're going to go and we're going to talk about a couple of the things here that, and answer those questions, because it's always very important also to newer players to try to be clear and forgiving, because sometimes the game is confusing, the mechanics are confusing. It's not the easiest with a lot of games. You know, this is a pretty easy game to get with and understand and play, but there are some nuances to why does this work and why doesn't this work, and also people's opinions on, like this, ways the game should be handled. So the first post is, you know how Yu-Gi-Oh has a banned list? Many card games have a banned list. Well, Marvel Snap have banned list game mode where certain cards can't be played, like Alioth. That's it. LOL. Trying to play other decks and have fun just gets ruined by Alioth. Annoying. This game will probably have I can see cards getting banned or temporarily disabled later on. The reason why there are, like, a lot of card games have banned lists is with current and newer sets. Older cards just make the decks broken or just do things that are really not intended, and the best way to handle that is just ban like the older cards that are causing these problems. Of course, there's always problems with they released a card and they didn't see something, but it's a brand new card, so they really don't know what to do with it. So the best thing is just to ban it from like regular play, because they messed up, because you can't go you can't go and change the text of a physical card once the game is out. That's the beauty of Marvel Snap and a lot of other digital games. If there's a problem with it, they can change it. We've seen that with balance changes, patch notes, OTAs, things like that. So will there be a ban thing? Maybe later on, and it'll most likely just be older cards, but if anything, it would just be like a temporary ban on a card until they're able to find a better rework for that card. But as it goes for like an actual ban list of like permanent cards to ban, I don't see anything like that happening for probably at least like 2 years, if it ever happens. All right. This is something that's very important to me. I've been wanting this for God knows how long. Can we get a way to show what's been discarded or destroyed? When you tap the profile, it tells you the number of cards. You should be able to see what those cards are. Obviously not for the deck in hand. Too many times, either my device doesn't load the card art in time, or I see a blank card, or I'm looking away and the game fast forwards or whatever. Seems like a reasonable thing to have in a card game with shared information, and I absolutely agree with this. I use what do I use? Untapped? Yeah, Untapped. I use Untapped as an overlay. It shows you your deck, what cards you have, and when you're playing against an opponent, it shows you what cards they've drawn. Where if you're playing a regular type of game, or like a regular ranked game, something that's not Conquest, it's really not cheating, because you already know all the cards that are in your deck. You can have a list of everything written down, and the whole extra information of knowing what's been discarded or destroyed That's just something where you should have that information anyway. It's not cheating, and until that's actually fixed, I see no problem ever using these types of game overlays to help you out with it. It's frustrating. It's a mobile game, and how many times have you played Spider-Ham, looked away, and you just hear the noise and you look back and the animation is so fast, you don't actually know what happened. And that really does hurt sometimes. And then you have people like him, or like this person, where the card art just doesn't load properly, or it's blank. And that's one of the problems with an online game. Maybe the data isn't being transferred fast enough, and it's not that they're missing it, it's that they don't have any idea what it is, because the art and the information just isn't loading up. Yeah, you can probably see, because I've had this problem too, rarely, I can see the power and the cost, but if you have a card that's, you know, a 3/3, I don't know 100% what card that is. I can get an idea, but I don't know if it's like Crystal or like Silver Surfer or something like that. How do I know? So this is something that Second Dinner truly needs to put in. And until then, get an overlay if you're playing on PC. I don't know how well the mobile ones work. This is a post that really gets to me. If this post has already been made, my apologies, but read your cards, people. They hold the key to your qualms. One person says, not every qualm in this group can be answered by reading card, but certainly most. Which is true. There's a lot of things where it's like, maybe they just didn't read the card right? And then this person, I don't know if this I think is poking fun at people, where it's just like, why didn't Shuri buff my null? And this is something where it's legitimate. Not him being mean, but if people are wondering how come my null's power wasn't buffed, and I'll go into that a little bit later about the difference between power that is affected by an ongoing ability and cards that can have their powers increased when their abilities is not an ongoing ability. Because there's a difference between the two and how it's actually affected. But if you go and you say, I'm playing Shuri and then I'm playing Null, and the Null in your hand is 10 power, and then you play it and it's like, why is my Null 20 power? That's just because the way that the power works for ongoing abilities compared to non-ongoing abilities is different. And this doesn't say, I don't think Shuri says base power. Let's see. Shuri. Yeah, double its power. You go and you play this card. If you play your next card at this location, double its power. Why isn't my 10 power Null being made 20 power? That is legitimate. This person making fun of this person, that's like not cool. Also, maybe these people, maybe the translation isn't that great when it goes to different languages and they're playing under a different language, or maybe English isn't their first language. And it's really kind of upsetting seeing people just reply with like, read your cards. That's dismissive, that's ignorant. You're not trying to understand what the person's problem is. Just explain it to them. Explain it to them. That's it. Be respectful about it. You don't know what's going on. And let's be honest, some of the things here in Snap don't make sense. Just saying. Saying read your card is pretty stupid. Don't do that. This is really funny. Like, it really is. I laughed a little bit. Quite a bit when I saw this. That's the fun break. That's the intermission we're having right now. Dan Hib reading all the negative comments about his variants. He's sad, and he wipes his tears away with hundreds of dollars. Thousands of dollars. All right. This is actually pretty interesting. I guess you can retreat by disconnecting under the location to the left. Person timed out turns 6 and 7, and it said opponent retreated. So Mount Vesuvius, players can't retreat after a turn 5. So this person, your enemy, should not have been able to retreat at all. Because you can't. Mount Vesuvius gets rid of the retreat button. So what happens when you disconnect from a game is that turn that you're on will play out. And if you don't come back before the end of the next turn and you are actually disconnected, the game will say your enemy's disconnected and the enemy retreated. So the only way this would work is if you kind of disconnect and you know you're going to lose on turn 5. I don't know if you can do it on turn 6 or it has to be during turn 5 before turn 6 actually starts. But you need to disconnect and there has to be limbo out. If limbo isn't out, you're just going to lose the cubes. That's it. So if your opponent snaps and you're not there, sorry, bro, you're losing extra cubes. But this is kind of an interesting thing to know. Again, what are you supposed to do? Read the location? The opponent retreated. How come that happened? That's why. Here's another thing. I still eventually won this, but why did my Taskmaster not copy Venom on turn 6? If this is normal, I won't do it again. Now, this is something where you can read the card, and it can be a little bit confusing for what it is. They did change Taskmaster a little while ago. Like if that card's in, like, set this card's power equal to that of the last card you played, if that card is in play. Now, why is this confusing to this? Because the last card he played is Venom. So why isn't Taskmaster copying this massive Venom? And that's because of Bar Sinister. Bar Sinister, he played his original Venom and then it resolved. And then copies of Venom were made. So his original one was destroyed, eaten by the second one. That was eaten by the third Venom, and this is the fourth Venom. This is not the original Venom that he had. This is a copied Venom. So the Taskmaster is trying to copy the card that is no longer there. Therefore, it doesn't work. Now, if this was pre-Taskmaster change from the way that Taskmaster works, same thing with like Mystique, where the card actually has to be in play for you to copy it, then he would have actually gotten the power of the first Venom. Not this last Venom. He would have gotten the power of the first Venom. And let's just say it was probably like, argument's sake, like 40, right? Or like 20. Let's say the first Venom's power was 20. I'm not going to do the math. Actually, I can do the math. It was, if it was 4 of them, 33? 33. So the Taskmaster would have been a 33 power Taskmaster. But that Venom is no longer there. It is gone. Done. This is, again, a null. I think I could do like a whole video on null because it's such a pain in the butt card. And it's not really specifically null, just a lot of these questions are related to null. But this would be also applicable to Devil Dino, to Ronin, to Dark Hawk, anyone that has an ongoing ability that increases its power. So how come Shadow King didn't restore null back to 0? Shadow King, for what he is, let's see, Shadow King, to their original base power, right? So null's original base power is 0. His base power never actually changes. It's always 0, and the only way it would change is for things like Wakandan Embassy or Sinister things, not Sinister, Mr. Negative, sorry. Mr. Negative, things like that, where it actually changes the 0 to something else. But when something has an ongoing ability, then that is just increased, and that can't be affected by power reverting effects such as Shadow King. If Shadow King was played over on this side, Hawkeye would go back down and Wolverine would go back down to their original base costs because they're not ongoing abilities. This is a regular static ability and this is an on-reveal ability. So if you have if you have a card where the ongoing ability is increasing its power, Shadow King won't do anything to it, Shuri's Lab won't do anything to it, Shuri won't do anything to it. It only affects the base power, and ongoing adds on top of what that base power is, which is why playing Valkyrie on some of these cards that have an ongoing ability that increases their power can be so ridiculous. Like, you're playing, yeah, let's just say that Null was over here, and they played Valkyrie over here. Then everyone would have 3 power, except Null, who would have 3 plus the 11. Because the ongoing is constantly adding on to it and it doesn't affect the base power. Very frustrating to go against good Valkyrie players. and the last one. This has happened to all of us, and it's absolutely frustrating. How many times have you made a new deck to try it out? This was the locations for the first game. Okay, I'll try it out on the next game. Like, just have the game tell me just that it reads my mind. It knows what I'm trying to do. It knows that I'm playing a brand new deck, and it's like, no. No. That has happened way too often. Or it finds out what new deck you're playing, and it pits you against somebody who has the exact counter for that deck. Like, is it all random? Yes, but also it's true. It's true. Snap just wants to mess with you. It's just Ben Brode playing pranks. All right, that's it. That's all we got today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully this isn't too long a video. Hopefully you learned something. Be nice on the internet. When somebody has a question about Snap, try not to be mean about it. It's very easy to be mean online. I occasionally am a little bit mean online, and I will sometimes apologize or delete my comment or just never post it to begin with. Have a great day, guys. Wish me luck against Lamby. I didn't lose yet, but I'm going to. Hi, Jesse. I'm going to go pet my dog.